Welcome to Surrounded by Sports. I'm Kevin Perkins. This is PHS head basketball coach and linebacker coach David Williams. DJ.
Yes, sir.
Father is a legendary coach.
Basketball player.
Yes.
When you think about it, he's Mr. PHS in my mind.
Mr. PHS. That's factual.
Mm-hmm.
That is factual. He played college basketball. He was drafted by the Phoenix Suns and got hurt or something?
Yes. He actually graduated here, was All-American here, class of 77, and ended up going to Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at Southern University, where they're probably the first team to make it in history to make it to the Big Dance in March. Then he ended up going to the Phoenix Suns in the 7th round.
Right. And then knee injury shortened it, yeah.
Didn't even get the chance to play at all.
Right, and then he winds up, though, coming back here, and the good thing about the scenario is that he wound up mentoring young men and being a leader. He still is active in the community as he is a school board member, and he cast, I would assume, a big shadow.
Oh, yes, definitely. He provided and was a trailblazer for a lot of young men and also myself as far as getting to the point that I am now. He has a saying that, if he was 1/10 of a man of his father, then he would be proud he's doing well. But I say the same thing. If I'm 1/10 of the man that my father is,
right,
I think he'll be pleased with me.
That's it. And that's kind of the point of the whole thing, right? Is I think that's going to wind up being the story we wind up telling today, is that to some degree, you weren't in a hurry to walk into your father's footsteps.
No, not at all.
But however, life's funny, and it kept calling you back towards where you needed to be.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's what we're going to wind up telling the story with right here.
Yes,
as
sir.
we talk about your development in this PHS community through the rec centers and all of that to the point where you excelled in 3 sports here at PHS.
Yes, sir.
Then you go to college, and then you, like I said, maybe, I don't know if escape's not the right word, but you weren't trying to be a teacher and a coach and all those things.
It definitely was not in the future.
Right, but you wind up.
Yes.
And I think the path to that is interesting. I want to help tell that tale, and then I want to talk a little bit about what you plan to do with PHS basketball. A powerhouse that you get to take over, and
yes, sir.
How that works for you, and then also we got football season right around the corner, and you have PHS football's back.
Yes,
had a good year last year.
Coach McKinney has definitely put his work in with rebuilding the program and bringing back the pride, restoring the pride, as they would say. A guy who's really passionate about the school, and that's definitely, I understand the legacy of PHS, and that's definitely big. And the guys are excited, the coaches are excited. So I'm just thankful, just from being a kid who grew up at PHS, thankful for Coach McKinney and what he's doing with the program.
Right. Well, okay. They always say, Pensacola sports is better when Pensacola High football is better.
Yeah.
Right, obviously. And also that's true with the basketball program as well. When you have the in the city limits, the team that literally represents the city is an important thing, and the arenas are full and people are coming to the football games again. It gives the city, it gives this community a heartbeat.
Yes.
And I think that's true. I think you think that's true. And we're going to get into all that and more after this. Sound good to you?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, we're going to do that, all that, more after this break.
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, the podcast hosted by Kevin Perkins. This show emphasizes how sports and life intersect while showcasing the Gulf Coast. And now, Surrounded by Sports.
Welcome back. Again, this is David Williams. He is the head coach at PHS. We're going to talk about his path to being the head coach at PHS. Thank you to McCory Homes, to Faust Builders, and to Sideline Sports Bars for sponsoring this show and allowing me to feed my habit, which is to go around and figure out how life and sports intersect. Here we go. You grow up in this community. You start out playing McGee Field?
Yes, sir. My first sport I ever played and kind of fell in love with it was baseball. I grew up playing T-ball at McGee Field, which was the first sport that I took on. And I just remember the parks being so full of kids back in the day playing baseball and t-ball. Basketball is actually my second sport I picked up. The reason being just we didn't have athletics for young kids around 3, 4, and 5, which t-ball provided that.
Right.
And so I grew up playing baseball at McGee Field. Then I played basketball at Malcolm Young under the great late Wimp Lewis.
Right.
Was an awesome man and really was a staple of the city.
Yeah.
And I thank Coach for everything that he did. So
Right.
that was my beginning, especially sports in the community in Pensacola. All Brittany Gant, McGee Field, and Malcolm Young.
Right. Now then you wind up, well, first of all, like you said, the area parks were full at that time, right? That's what people went and did on Saturdays. That's where people were at
Yes.
night. And the parents were invested in the
Yes.
community as well. And that's kind of, we hope that when PHS rises, as they're trying to do, and as you're trying to do, that we get that same similar
Yes.
build in the community, right?
Yes.
Right. And we're going to get there. I'm sorry. We're going to get there when we talk about you working in the rec centers later on. Now, as a young man, what are some lessons you learned from David Williams, the PHS coach, but this is your dad?
Yeah. All the Tigers know, everybody that's been coached up under him, he had one saying: excuses are a reason for failure.
Right.
And so he didn't tolerate excuses.
Right.
All he knew was hard work and being punctual. And some of those things rubbed off on me, at times where I'm very punctual. I try to be very punctual. Being late is a problem, and that's attributed to my father as far as him being such a hard worker, him paying attention to detail, him expecting the best out of everybody, holding everybody accountable.
Right.
So those are a few things that brushed up or rubbed off on me as far as me as a man personally and also as a coach as well.
Well, that's a lot of that too is being able to a no excuse. Mike Tomlin, we're a no excuse ball club. We're a no excuse. That's being able to shoulder the burden. And I think you're fairly hard on yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm my biggest critic.
Right.
I was like that as a player. I'm like that as a coach. There's nights, you can ask my wife, there's nights sometimes in the past where I don't go to sleep till 3 or 4 in the morning because I'm trying to figure this thing out. So I'm definitely a critic. I definitely reflect on what I can do better and how I can be a better leader of young men as far as that, because that's what coaching is about.
Do you think back to the way your father went about leading people?
Almost definitely.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, as a kid, you necessarily don't see his younger years or his mistakes or his trial and error years, because he started at 27. By the time I really was paying attention to him, he probably was mid-30s, late 40s, early 50s.
Right.
And so he was polished by then.
Right.
So you look at, you hold them to a standard or you put them on a pedestal, and those are things that you don't see the long nights. You don't see, just like how I stay up at 3 o'clock in the morning, or my mom used to tell stories about how they'll be in a restaurant and they're supposed to be on a date, but he's sitting there writing down plays because he was so engaged with it. And again, it goes back to excuses are a reason for failure.
Right.
So.
Right, and also you told me that he had a saying that knocked me out.
Yes.
What, foolish?
So another phrase that he taught us was a foolish man learns from no mistakes. An average man learns from his mistakes, and a wise man learns from others' mistakes. So that's another thing that I do take heed to, because those are reflective moments, and those are ways that you can get better personally. Like I said, I just reflect, and I kind of evolved that statement, and I say I never trip over the same tree stump twice.
Right.
So
that's right. That's right. Also, we talked about this on the phone. You never really know what moment's going to matter. You can't turn off and on. And you are paying attention at all times to what's going on around you, because you want to know, A, what's going on, and B, learning from others' mistakes, which was ingrained in you as a young man. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, okay, so you get to PHS and you're playing 3 sports. You're an outfielder. Were you in the same outfield, Adron?
Adrian was a junior and I was a senior, so he's a year under me. So I played outfield, played first base, played some back catch, and also pitched a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
played.
And so you were on the same. Adrian was actually at practice with us today.
Yeah.
He gave a little speech at the end. I
Great
thought was
speech.
well.
Great
Right.
speech.
Well, dude, we've been at practice all day. He was actually at practice. I was walking around watching. But so you played. Adrian Chambers is a World Series champion
Yes.
baseball player. Was a fantastic quarterback here. Played some defensive back at Mississippi State. So that's who we're talking about. If you don't know, but. So you excel in football, and you're with Mike Bennett's ball club,
Yes.
who's Escambia High's coach. He's been in the area maybe 35, 40 years.
90, I want to say 94, 95, 96 was his first start.
Right.
And that's when he started, and he's still going at it.
Right, right.
30, well, it's 25, 2025, 26,
Yeah.
30 years.
And what were some of the takeaways you learned from playing under him? And you wind up coaching with him later on
Yes.
too. So we'll just kind of talk about him now while we're doing it.
No.
What were some of the takeaways?
The great thing of having my father as a basketball coach and having Coach Bennett as a football coach, they both almost idolized the same thing. You know, work ethic and excuses were not tolerated.
Right.
His intensity. Also, Coach Bennett has one of those keen to paying attention to detail as well. He knows his craft. The biggest thing is he knows and loves his kids.
Right.
You know, I seen Coach Bennett mentor a lot of young men who most people who would not even step foot into their neighborhood or in their lifestyle. And I've seen how he just transcended a lot of guys.
Right.
You know, and he has a special gift for that.
Right, right. And now, but on the third coach you had in high school, Mark Hobley, now he takes over a program that's rough, and he's got a lot of. It's going to be hard for him to excel. What did you pick up anything from Mark Hobley?
Coach Hobley, man, one thing, he just had a passion for the youth, and his passion definitely flowed over into us. Just quick story, I remember being an incoming ninth grader. The incoming ninth grader is me, my teammate Antonio Rice, Alex Gordon at the time was coming in, Lorenzo Griffin, we was all incoming ninth graders. And he kind of forced us by fire. He threw us in there. And I'll never forget, we always talk, we're grown men, we talk about this summer league game when we played against Tate High School at Tate as incoming ninth graders. And it was definitely an eye-opener, but it was a test. You know, and the biggest takeaway is, if anybody knew Tate back in the day in baseball, they were top notch.
Right.
But the fact that he pushed us in that arena and pushed us, and also believed that we were good enough at least to compete. Now I'm gonna be honest, we wasn't ready.
Right.
But he believed that we was at least good enough to compete, and I appreciate Coach Hobley for all that.
Right. Well, he's in a completely different scenario. It's not that he's making excuses for you, but he's going to have to be a little more patient. Right.
Yes.
Now, if you don't know Mark Hobley, he was a defensive back coach here and at Washington High School. He is Pensacola history in a lot of ways.
He knows a lot.
Yeah, and he's a historian of the area, and he grew up in this area like you. His family, his father was a principal and all that. So you have similar backgrounds in that manner. Now, okay, you go away to school. You go to Paul Quinn University in Texas.
Paul Quinn College in Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
Right, and you wind up playing there for Coach.
Played there with Archie Cooley.
Archie Cooley,
the gunslinger.
Right. Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice, the works.
Coached them.
Yeah.
And that's where I was kind of, again, being a young man, adolescence, bumping my head a couple of times and not understanding that, you know, this was a trendsetter. And we talked about how if it wasn't for Coach Cooley, there would be no spread offense. You know, there would be no gunslinger. Everybody would still be in the wishbone. Right. But
Barry Switzer stuff. Yeah.
But he actually transcended the game. Yeah. I went there for 2 years, and again, being a knucklehead, didn't really fall in line.
Right.
And what's crazy is I'm a coach's son, so I should know all about being coachable.
Right.
But
well, there might have been the first time too where you were free.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hey,
I graduated at 17, so I was 17 years old in Dallas, Texas. So I didn't turn
right.
18 until.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more important
Yeah.
than that you're willing to admit and know, okay, this is what happened with me. This is why I'm trying to keep you from.
Yes.
Right? That
Yes,
whole thing,
yes,
right? You
yes.
learn from what I did, right? But you pivot. Now you wind up you
Went to
wind up
Paul
getting
Quinn.
your degree. What now?
I went to Paul Quinn, and then I left there after 2 years. I ended up going to my father's alma mater, Southern University, due to the stipulations in classifications, because Paul Quinn College was an NAIA school. Southern is a Division I AA. I had to have so many core courses done. Of course, they wasn't completed
Right.
due to myself.
Right.
But that's when the transition from an student athlete to just a student.
Right.
And it was a trial. It was a trial, and I hate to say I love Baton Rouge. I love Southern University coaching, but I didn't finish there either.
Right.
So
What's interesting though is you didn't know you were going to be a teacher. You didn't know you were going to be a coach, but you still stuck in there and got your degree.
yeah.
So you knew that was important for whatever the next step would be. Now, how did you wind up getting into coaching?
Oh, so again, young man, don't know my path, don't know. Just winding up getting into it because I was at that point, again, growing up. I wanted to blaze my own path. I know Pops was a teacher, he was a coach. I ran from that for so many years, and there's so many times that you can run from destiny, and destiny's gonna pull and grab you and say, hey,
Right.
enough is enough. So after I left Southern University, after my 4 years there, I came back home, and I was blessed to acquire a job at the Fricker Center under Justin Pierce, who was the director, the head director, executive director over there. And so I was after school counselor, I was summer camp counselor, and then I also helped coach. That was kind of like my intro to coaching was with the rec league.
Yeah.
And so
And you found out you were good at it.
I would say I was all right. I still, it was
You're
something
learning.
I wasn't, it was still something I wasn't looking to get into.
How did being a counselor help you?
My mom always said I had a gift for kids, and I just
Yeah.
had the energy that I could kids would just gravitate to me. And also at the same time, because who my father was and because the coaches who I had, I did have a little bit of authoritarian side to me.
Right.
So not only was I structured, I knew how to build rapport with kids, and when they're down, pick them up, or when they're walking astray, pull them into the right path. So
Yeah.
that is just contribute to all the coaches I had, from my pops, Coach Bennett, Coach Webb Lewis,
Right.
Coach Mark Hobley, all
Right.
those guys, Archie Cooley, and things of that nature. So
Okay. So then, now, how did you wind up pivoting from there to Washington High School? Was your first stop?
yeah, man.
How'd that happen? It hurt. It hurt to put on that.
man.
To put it on that.
I ran away from it.
Right. Does it hurt when I say who we be?
That's way before. Shout out to Coach Jay Brown, who initiated that, man. That was definitely before the who we be time. But Justin Pierce, who was the executive director at the Fricker Center at the time, alumni of Washington High School, class of 2002, ended up getting the position as the head coach.
Okay.
Me and Justin always knew each other growing up because the community in Pensacola was so tight-knit, and then the competitive nature. He knew my father, he knew how my upbringing and stuff
Right.
like that, so he asked me to be a part of his coaching staff. Of course, being the Tiger I am, I ran from it
Right.
for so long, but me really trusting Justin and Justin was kind of like an older brother, a mentor at the time.
Yes, sir.
So, because sometimes you need that mentor that's not too older than you, but just kind of has a little bit more season.
He's similar in age.
Yeah.
And you can see he's on the ball. So you're like, well, wait a minute, what's he doing right?
Yeah.
I get it.
So, and he asked me, and so out of the trust of Justin, I said yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. For the first year as a coach at
hurt.
Washington, I wore all black. Whenever we played Pensacola High School, we PHS, every game, every time we played them, I wore all black.
Yeah.
But he asked me to be part of his coaching staff, and I was there with him for 5 years. And
Right.
we had some really good runs there at Washington. Learned a lot from him.
Great program. What did you learn as far? What did you? I think you told me you learned like he had a system in which the
Yes.
ninth develops, and he was good at developing talent.
Yes. The biggest thing I take away from Coach Pierce was that he was very detail-oriented, from the weight training, from the structure of practice agenda, time, schedule. Everything was very organized to what he wanted the outcome to be.
Right.
You know, and that was definitely big, because therefore you can stay the course, and also you have objectives and you have goals to reach.
Right.
So his organization, as far as writing it down and putting it on paper, was something I definitely took away from him.
Now the next step was Escambia.
Yes, and again, running away from it.
Big rival.
I took after Washington, I took a year off, because at the time I was getting engaged to Jasmine Polk at the time. Now she's Jasmine Polk Williams.
Yes.
But I took time off to really get myself together as far as trying to be a man and step into the realm of being a husband.
Right.
But because of Coach Jeremy Ruffin at the time at Escambia, he came into coaching when me and Coach Pierce was leaving, and he would always, again, pull on my coattail.
Right.
Hey, you need to get back in coaching. Hey, you need to get back in coaching. And at the time, I was just like, nah, it's not something I want to do. But then again, something just, again, when timing, destiny pulls on you, pray. I ended up being his freshman coach.
Okay.
And so, as a freshman coach, then that 1 year, then him and Escambia decided to part ways, and I applied for the job, and that's when my first head job came about, me at Escambia.
Right. Now, it seems like you don't take anything for granted.
No, I don't.
Right.
Can't.
I mean, you're getting married. You take some time. You think it through. You plan out how the relationship and the life's going to go. You don't just jump into coaching. You think it through. How's this going to affect me? How's it going to affect people? So you thought through being a head coach.
Again, it's something that I'm still at the time running away from.
Right.
My dad's legacy, because
Right.
again, it's just, as a young guy, as a young man, you think, because of I got a little hair on my chin now, that
Right.
I'm gonna do my own thing, and then not knowing that your father is supposed to blaze the trail, and you're supposed to navigate. That was his job.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so at the time, I was still running from it, and even getting the head coaching job at Escambia, it was a learning. It was learning curve, because all I knew was PHS in Washington.
What did you learn about from Ruffin?
Ruffin, and this is what I could say again about
You
Coach
coached
Ruffin.
with Bennett as well at Escambia too.
What the passion that he had for the kids, because it was bigger than basketball for him.
Right.
He took the time out and understood the needs of the demographics. He understood putting counselors in front of him for getting that FAFSA done for the next step. He had people come in to teach the young men how to change a tire. Those things. It was really more than basketball for him, and that's one thing I took from him, because it's not all about, he took care of the full circle of the student athlete, not
Right.
just in the gym.
Right. You said, I think you told me he had people teach him how to tie a tie.
Tie.
Right.
Anything you name it. I mean,
Right.
he did food giveaways. We had we had times where the guys came up for Christmas, and he had a local church donate
Right.
a Christmas party for the guys, because again, we have some demographics over there
Right.
off Lillian who are less fortunate. So he
Sure.
really took
Sure.
the time out to pour into a group of young men.
Right. It's not just X's and O's with him.
No.
It's the kids.
Yes, definitely.
That's
Definitely.
great. That is great. Let's take a quick break, and then we're just going to finish up talking about PHS. Sounds
sir.
good? Because
Yes,
you made
sir.
it home.
Yes, sir. I'm back home.
All right. All right. We'll be back right after this.
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, the place where sports and life intersect with a focus on the Florida Panhandle. Thank you to our sponsors, Faust Builders, McCrory Homes, and Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant. They make all our content possible.
Welcome back, folks. This is David Williams, June DJ.
Well, I'm the second.
You said the second earlier.
That's kind of technical because I'm actually the second. My nickname is DJ. The reason why my mother wanted to nickname me DJ because she's a Southern woman and she didn't want me to run around in the family calling Junior.
Oh, yeah, it would be too. It would have been Junior, right?
It would have been Junior, so that's why she gave me the second. But also technicalities,
I got it. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, thank you Faust Builders, thank you McCrory Homes, thank you Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant for sponsoring this show, allowing me to feed my habit, which is to figure out how life and sports intersect. And this is a guy who spent his life running away from sports, but he couldn't help it, right?
Most definitely, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so you wind up taking this job at PHS, and was it your relationship? I'm a big fan of Coach Harris. I did a media day a couple of years ago with him, and we had a conversation off camera, and I was just kind of blown away at, because usually coaches don't want to let you in on how smart they really are, and he didn't have a problem with it. We were talking about the way educational systems work in Europe because he had played ball.
Yep.
He's a brilliant man.
Yeah, he is.
Did you have a relationship with him to help get you over here, or?
The connection was one of the connections, yeah, because he actually, Coach Harris actually played under my father.
Of course.
And so he knew me as the big-headed little boy running around the gym whenever they was at practice or at a game. And so I always say this, those guys didn't know how much they affected my life when I was younger because those were I don't have an older sibling. So all those guys that play under the Pops were like a big brother to me, and so I knew he's been in the game for a long time. He's been coaching for a long time, and he was getting a little tired, and as all do. Yeah. He kind of maxed out, coaching honestly those 18 years because my father did 18 years.
Yeah.
And so it's something that I prayed about, talked to my wife about, talked to my mom and pops a little bit, but I really reached out to Coach Harris because I had a epiphany, or I prayed about it, and God kind of directed me to say, hey, it's time. It's time to come home. And so I had, a lot of times when the Lord calls you, then you have to obey.
Right.
And so I reached out to Coach Harris and said, hey, I think I might be interested to being your successor and replacing him at Pensacola High School. Right.
And so then when he does decide to move into the front office and become the athletic director, I'm sure you were an early phone call for him. So when you get here, like, what is the plan for the basketball program?
So one is to continue what Coach Harris is all, because Coach Harris has had some great runs here at Pensacola High School. It's very intentional about what he's doing, and so that's kind of, even though I have my father's legacy, I still have to respect Coach Harris's 15 years here.
And he can help you navigate.
Oh yeah, yes. And so that is one of the things that, just following the footsteps of, I can just take it from my father to Coach Stennett to Coach Cochran,
legendary coach.
Coach Cochran, and it was Coach Cochran, Coach Stennett, and then Coach Harris.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm walking into, and it's actually a big deal. It's not easy.
It's not just one torch.
Oh no.
You're carrying like four of them.
Yeah.
Right. And so okay, so it isn't a rebuild here as far as that. Like at Escambia, football's kind of king.
It is.
And there, and you had coached football there as well. And so when you're here though, basketball, it's not hard to get kids to play.
No.
So what are you like? What is your plan with this team, with this organization? Or is that still formulating?
It is, but I really want, with this generation of kids, man, they're different.
Of course.
You know, I grew up around some hard-nosed guys, and also my team, 2003, 2004, we was very hard-nosed.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to instill that same tenacity
Right.
that we played with, continue the grit, continue the winning legacy, and ultimately, this is something I'm letting you in, a little personal thing, is something that I put in a journal. I want to actually bring a state championship to Pensacola High School, because there's another side to the story. My senior year, we went off to the state Final Four,
Right.
and we ended up losing in the state Final Four in overtime.
Right.
There was some discrepancy in the score or whatnot why we didn't make it to the state. So it's something I wrote down in the journal. I want to, as a son, because I didn't do
Right
it as a
that
player,
Right.
bring a state championship to
Right.
the Pensacola High School.
And first of all, I owe you an apology that when we were talking about your high school career, I didn't bring up the fact that you were a swing man,
Yeah, I played
shooting guard,
small forward.
small forward on a team that made it to the Final
Final Four.
Four, right? In a tremendous run. And
Yeah.
it's neat to me that you want to get right back there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also, tell me if I'm wrong, you didn't come through, like, you played hard nosed, you strong guy, you're a rebounder, you want to get out and be tough like that. But also you probably understand kids, having been a counselor, a little bit better than somebody that just coached. Having been to different schools, you probably, does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. The timing of everything is amazing, because,
Right.
like I said, I'm really pulling from all these great avenues to actually bring it back home to where I was raised.
Right.
You know, the excuses are a reason for failure from my father, and hard working, because we ain't mentioned it, but on Sundays we would come up here, and whatever sport I was in, I'm putting in work as a young kid.
Right.
The organization piece, as far as Coach Pierce at Washington, then the whole makeup of a student athlete out of Ruffin, and then again the legacy and the winning legacy from my father, Coach Cochran, Coach Stennett, and Coach Harris.
Yeah.
So it's like a perfect storm almost.
Right.
You know, and the timing
And you stepped out of that insulated, because coaches can become the rulers of their own little fiefdom in a way, and they don't understand. Some of them don't understand what it's like outside of a school scenario, right? But you've done that too.
Yeah.
In a way, you could be like the perfect guy for this scenario because of the modern kid.
Yeah. And after.
And I'm not being critical of any coach.
Yeah. Because even after, like you said, it's again perfect storm. I was at the Frigate Center for 2 years, and then I end up working for Camelot Academy at the time. Was an alternative setting school for kids, where my boss at that time actually was a summer camp counselor, and he seen how structured I was with kids and how I was fair, firm, and consistent. And he said, "You should let me hire you as a behavior staff." Same DJ mindset as we talked before. Nah, I'm running from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then sat down and told him, "Yo, yes." And so I was there for 10 years at an alternative setting school. So now I definitely have a vision and see what really a at-risk student is. So,
Right. So you, dude,
yeah,
I didn't even know
it's a
that
lot.
part. That gave me goosebumps. Okay, so now I hate to do this, but we have to pivot back to football because football season's coming up, and we just left football practice.
No doubt.
You're the coach of the linebackers. Wade McKinney, they turned this thing around over here.
Yes.
Your room is talented.
Yes, we're talented, but also we're very under radar. And I'm the type of guy that I like to be under the radar.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to be out in front and all that, but I like to work from under the radar.
Right.
You have Ty Jalen, A lot of people know him by Cool.
He's incredible.
He's almost, in a good way, he's a freak of nature.
Right.
I mean, the instinct that he has as a football player is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, he reminds me of one of the first linebackers I had at Escambia was Lil John Williams, who ended up going to Pearl River.
Right.
And when you have those kind of guys, my father always had a saying that good players make the coach look good.
Right.
And there's going to be times where Ty Jalen is Ty Jalen. It's not me. He just made me look good.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then,
those
he's
guys
at
can
Mike.
color outside the box.
He's at Mike, and our will linebacker, his name is Ronald. Up and coming guy. He's a very hard worker. He's thirsty for knowledge. Both of these guys transition from the defensive line to linebacker, so it's new. They're willing to be molded, and they're willing to work hard. And I challenge them every day.
Right. Now, as we're wrapping here on the show, multi-sport athlete. Are you? I'm going to assume you're into multi-sport athletes. You think guys, if they can, should play?
I believe in it. I lived it. It's part of the philosophy, because if you do your research on sports, a lot of the top guys, Hall of Famers, guys on the history books, play multi-sports. You're talking about Bo Jackson. You're talking about Deion Sanders.
Right.
You're talking Michael Jordan.
Right.
All those guys, or Antonio Gates, who played basketball, became a All-American and not All-American, a Hall of Famer in NFL.
Right.
So there's a correlation.
Graham with the Saints.
And we can go on. The list goes on and
Right.
on. You know?
Right.
And
Oh, you know what? This is funny. Some of the best centers, like Olajuwon, he started out playing soccer, right? So who has the greatest footwork of all time?
the dream.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, and so you believe in that, though. Yeah, and I mean, who's a better rebounder than a linebacker?
Yeah, I know the physicality. The instinct.
Right.
Knowing where to be. You know.
And now tell me, baseball, there's a certain amount of patience that you have. Like Adrian was talking about how when you're in outfield, you're supposed to be paying attention to every pitch, and it matters every pitch. And you have to train yourself for, like we said earlier, you don't know what moment's going to matter. And in baseball, you can get caught with your attention somewhere else. Does that help you too?
It's chess, because baseball is basically a mind game. Because it's every other sport you're moving. Baseball, the pitcher can literally pitch 10 pitches and you don't move in the outfield.
Right.
But there's always scenarios. Baseball is scenario based, so therefore you have to be ready for any scenario and mentally ready.
Right.
Like you say, because you can be out there in the field and, man, this guy you probably did your stats, this guy probably ain't hit to the left side of the field
all day,
and then just boom.
Yeah.
So it's mental. Baseball is definitely a mental game, IQ game.
Right. Now, and also like as a swingman forward, those are all different ways of communicating with one another. It feels like you've been trained so well for the next stages in your life.
Yes, and it's not my doing. Destiny, design. I had a praying grandmother, praying mother, praying family, and I'm really leaning on the shoulders of them.
Right.
It is not my doing.
Yeah, and another thing though is you did excel though. You excelled as a player. But you also, when you took the job at the rec center, you excelled. When somebody challenged you to do more, maybe you were resistant, but you excelled. And then as an assistant, you excelled. So you wind up. There's a reason why people keep asking you to do more.
Yeah, I know. Again, it goes back to being a biggest critic, and I just come from a humble background.
Right.
My granddad, my dad's dad, Hollis T. Williams, was the first Black City Council. So there's things that's put in place from generations before. So we're very humble, and I'm very humble. I'm not a me guy.
Right.
So just by the grace of God, man, I can't, because I tried everything possible not to be here.
Right, but you're right where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right, man, let's wrap on that. Thank you
sir.
so much, Dave, for giving you time.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. This is the second
Yeah.
David Williams right here. He is the head coach of PHS basketball. He's the linebacker coach. We're looking for big things from both
sir.
areas. Thank you to Faust Builders. Thank you to McCory Homes. Thank you to Sidelines for, again, allowing us to do this and figure out how sports and life intersect. Folks, thank you for giving us some of your time. Take care of yourselves. Appreciate you.